Welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast number 82. I'm Mr. Fusion. Tonight, the stream master himself, Alon. How are you? What's up going on? What's going on?
If I'm a stream master, I am worried about whoever is not a stream master.
We're all stream masters. Also is joining us Chaos Mana.
Hellos.
Senior Webwave.
Hey, I'm kind of quiet because I'm at work.
Oh, he's at work. Zap45 and his crusty microphone.
Yep, hello.
And Mr. Wardberg.
Hello.
I do believe this is the first time Wardberg and I are on the same podcast.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Or is it I too think that is? I don't know.
And here I thought you two were the same person.
We do share the same certain, or wait, is it prefix? Yeah, we share the same prefix.
Yes. But what's going on tonight, guys?
Nothing much. I was going to play the Evolve beta yesterday, and then I found out that I do have to make the upgrade to the next generation of gaming, and now I'm sad. It only works on 64-bit OSs, and my desktop is 32, so I have to get a new processor and a new hard drive.
Wait. You have a computer that's 32-bit?
Yeah. It runs Windows 7.
I did not know that they still existed.
Yeah, apparently they do. Now I have to upgrade. That makes me sad.
Huh.
You can get OBS in 32-bit.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Actually,
the
I
software
use
you can still
OBS.
find, but I mean, processing, I haven't had a 32-bit processor since 2004.
Okay, brag about it.
Yeah.
I'm just
Fancy.
saying. I mean,
Hashtag
I didn't
humble
even
brag.
know. I don't want to brag about it, but you know, I build my own systems. But I didn't know that.
Hashtag
people-
humble
I mean,
brag.
Still,
Sorry, go on.
still buying. We're still buying 32-bit systems. I did not know this. That's kind
Well,
of.
I bought my computer from a pawn store like 2 years ago and been upgrading. I just didn't know that it ran on a 32-bit processor until like maybe a couple months ago, and I didn't really have a problem with it until I had to try to start the Evolve beta. I
And
didn't.
then you just died.
And it said like, nope. It's like it has to be 64 bits. And I'm just like,
Can you
I
throw
don't have
64
enough.
bits
What if
Yeah,
it,
on the
what if it did have
motherboard?
64 bits, it just, the settings was just incorrect?
No, it's a 32-bit operating. I did a bunch of research. It has to be a 64-bit operating system.
But see, like, I kind of like your story better, because mine was I just saw the email today and the alpha's over.
You
So,
just missed out.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done it, I just didn't. Because I forgot. Actually, because I didn't see it, so. Ignorance is bliss.
That's what I'm saying.
I've seen some
too busy.
Footage of it. Seems
Anyone-
like
has anyone played the Evolve?
Well, no.
I've
you
seen
silly.
videos of it.
Yeah, that's
I
as
mean, I
close
know
as
what it's
we
about.
got.
Like, I know all the mechanics. I did research on that, but I wasn't able to play it.
Yeah, no, there was a pretty popular streamer that was streaming it for a while. His name's Wolf Skull Rar. That's his name, and he's like he plays the part, and it's great. But yeah, he played it for like a week and a half, I think, and it was like it's really cool. It's super neat how they set that whole thing up, man. I'm really interested in the game.
It has a lot of possibilities to be like very dynamic for like co-op play.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
the
think
thing
I'm
is,
looking
like,
forward to that.
I thought it was gonna be too overpowered to one side, like whether it was the
Mhm.
person playing the monster or the team. But like between like a few of the matches I've seen, they could have gone either way every single time. Like it's super cool, super interesting. I love how they
Yeah,
did it.
especially like where you trap the monster can mean a lot. Because the Rooster Teeth guys did a Let's Play in it, and I watched that earlier today, and there are times when the monster can just hide while it's trapped and can get away by the time the trap's gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a very cool take on the whole Left 4 Dead kind of style of gaming or mechanic.
Yeah. I'd say so, like 4v1.
How are you feeling about the actual Halo release coming up?
Fucking excited.
Hell
Weren't we
yeah.
going to do a spoiler cast for Halo when that came out or something?
What's Halo?
We're probably gonna.
Did you see the launch trailer that dropped today?
I
It's
did
like
not.
Call of Duty.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Just when that line comes up that says over 100 multiplayer maps, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Give me my
And they're
Halo
all
2
like
maps.
they're all like 5 feet by 5 feet.
Remember? No, that was in the... Does it include, like, Combat Evolved maps?
It includes all the PC maps as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
does it
crazy.
include that teleporter room map that was
Yep.
like the size of a closet?
I think so.
I'm
As
sure
far
it
as I
does.
know,
Maybe.
yeah.
So how is multiplayer gonna work since it's 4 games?
They're all on one
across the
unified
disc?
search system, and then it'll all also operate on the Halo 2 experience system for like
Yeah.
ranking and stuff, which is what
Yeah.
really got me excited.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it'll just be like one big room. Could you like select games from Halo?
Yeah, you'll be able to
Halo
select by
1 or-
playlist, by objective playlist. Like if you want to do just Halo maps, there's a Halo 1, there will be a Halo 1 playlist, or Halo 2, and so on. And like if you want to play just Capture the Flag, it might have games
Oh, yeah,
maps from
they
all
had
4
that.
games, and in that objective playlist.
Yeah.
Are they still gonna keep the Griffball playlist?
From what I've heard, yeah. I follow the Griffball Hub, and they were saying it is.
Oh,
Yeah, you
that's
can
awesome.
play Griffball and Halo Combat Evolved, maybe.
Dude, yeah. I've been in the Griffball League the last couple of years. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think
Are
I
you,
first played it like
Are you skilled at Griffball?
Our team actually got a shout out at RTX this year for the coolest name ever. We were the Rainbow Unicorns to the rescue. And then for the second season, our captain was level 25 Magikarp, so our team name was Splash Attack.
Nice. That's awesome. That's legit.
Oh yeah.
When's the last time the last time I played was like a year. Like ever since I wasn't like stopped playing 4, and that was like many months ago.
The last time I played was Halo Reach. That was a long time ago now, 360.
That is.
I'll be honest. I wasn't too happy with the maps for 4. It just, I don't
Not
know.
that bad.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of their. If there was a downside to the 4, it'd be the multiplayers, because it was kind of their back. What felt like it was on their back burner, because their campaign was like all the work that went into making it look that good.
Yeah.
Were there any like large vehicle maps in Halo 4?
Yeah,
Yes.
there are. There's
Is it like,
what's that one? It's got 5 bases. It's kind of in a twilight area.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of it, but it's escaping me.
I only know,
played
like,
Halo
2 of the
4. I only know
names.
like a few of the maps just from like seeing stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can't really think of one.
I usually know them by
Well,
what
what
was
would be
used
your
in Red versus
favorite
Blue.
map from? What would be your favorite map from each of the games?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Colag's
Blood Gulch
definitely
is
up
always-
there.
Coagulation and Blood Gulch
yeah.
was good. Oh, Zanzibar. Zanzibar was
Zanzibar is
great.
fucking amazing.
Zanzibar was fun.
Lockout's great.
Guardian.
Yep. Yeah.
Narrows.
Not so much Narrows. I mean,
Oh,
What's
I
the
love that
one?
one.
What's the one that's kind of like Blood Gulch, but not actually Blood Gulch? Is it like
Was
Valhalla?
it Valhalla?
Yeah.
Valhalla?
Valhalla. Yeah, that was awesome.
See, here's the thing.
Well,
Like,
or is
I've
it
only-
Hemorrhage? It's
No, it was Valhalla. See, here's the thing. I've
Yeah,
only played.
They did the series in that.
Yeah, I've only played Halo twice. And it was Halo 4 both times. And once it was at RTX 2013 when I signed up for the Global Championships because it was free. So I was like, fuck it, I've never played it. Almost made it past the first round. It was great. And then the second one was
That would
actually
have been great if you had.
the second one
I
was
did,
actually
they
on
ran
the
out of
gauntlet.
t-shirts.
So it's like I had no idea what the fuck.
So you really haven't been. I thought you were joking when you said you didn't really play.
No,
Halo.
see, here's the thing. I played the first one when it first came out on PC forever ago. Like I bought the actual
Oh
disc.
gosh.
Oh, Sidewinder.
I still had that somewhere, like all scratched up and like shoved in a drawer.
I have it right there. I
Found.
see it right now. It's on the sleeve. Halo Combat.
So
Evolved.
next stream game.
Next
Nah.
stream game? Yeah, come
Nah.
on.
No, see here, and here's why. Because I have a capture card coming, thanks to the generosity of a bunch of people who donated. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I was having an improvement drive for my stream. Because I was.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Because I was in desperate need of a capture card because my computer can no longer run a game and stream at the same time. Like it's just barely chugging along, especially with the newer games.
It used to be able to, but now it just
Well,
can't anymore.
no, it's just the newer games.
It can't even anymore.
It's just the newer games because they take so much processing power in themselves, and then OBS itself takes so much processing power that I can't do it anymore. So I'm super duper excited. I actually ordered it today. Should be getting here on Friday. So
So
Yeah,
you're gonna be moving over to more console based games when
Yeah. And
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
in Rooster
Welcome to
Teeth
the
will
good
then
side of the
shun me.
fence.
No, then everybody from Rooster Teeth will then shun me because I don't own an Xbox. I just have PlayStation stuff.
Cute.
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
Yes.
But
Well, most of those guys own both units, the PS4 and the Xbox One.
yeah,
they don't seem to do many
Triggers.
4 game.
No, they don't do games, but when they're doing when they're talking on the podcast, they'll bring up the fact that they have both systems.
Yes. Although,
Yeah, like
So they can stay non-biased.
well, here's the thing
And I'm
too.
sure that's a business expense they can claim on their taxes.
That too.
So,
Yeah, but here's the thing
well.
too. It's like the library on the PlayStation 4, not too impressive right now.
not right
To
now.
say
Especially
the
not for
least.
Let's Play games.
No, because
Like-
they have The Last of Us remastered, which
And
was-
just size or in quality of game?
no, and just size, because right now the majority of the library is indie games, which I love indie games. Don't
It's
get me
cool.
wrong, and the games that are there are amazing. But it's games that I have on Steam already, so I have no reason to get them on the PlayStation 4.
Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Actually,
PlayStation 4.
it's gonna be free for PlayStation Plus subscribers in December. I'm gonna play the
Oh,
shit out of it.
Nice.
Sweet. I'll look forward to those streaming because that's a game that I enjoy watching.
Yeah, no, the first one was amazing. The actual Binding
Yeah.
of Isaac.
Yeah, the Binding of Isaac was also great. I played a little bit here and there, but then get immediately frustrated and quit for 6 months and come back. It's a very abusive relationship. I love RNG, or is it randomly
roguelikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's
roguelikes, randomly generated number machines, whatever you want to call
proc, I think.
them. They're
Is
awesome.
it no, isn't it called proc, where it's like procedurally random occurrences or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah, something
Have
like
you seen any
that.
rare occurrences?
No.
I don't think it's that.
No.
I'm sure there's a joke that I just missed somewhere. I apologize. I'm gonna just shut
May
up.
have been a reference.
Yeah, speaking
but
of
those
games,
games are cool.
Fusion, did you
Games.
get a Sunset Overdrive for your new Xbox One yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, you totally should, dude. I just
Is
got
the
mine
hype
this week as
real?
well, and it
A
was
few
hype
people have told me
fucking-tastic.
a few people have told me it's gimmicky, but it gets old fast, kind of like Deadpool. Is that true?
Not in my experience so far.
Did you watch a Bernie stream on it?
I watched about 5 minutes because I was at work, but
okay.
but I mean, it looks like it could be fun. But that was the same thing with Deadpool. I love Deadpool. He's a great character, but it just became repetitive because the move set just became button mashing after a few hours of gameplay, and this one looked kind of
Were
the
you
same
playing
way.
it on harder difficulty?
Yes, I did. It's the same button mashing.
See, now
Trust
here's a
me.
question. Sunset Overdrive, that's developed by Insomniac Games, right?
Oh, Insomniac's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
Love
they're
those.
I
good
heard
people.
that game has a really, 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 really prevalent Ratchet and Clank feel to it.
Yeah, I can see it. And just the and
definitely-
for
it
me, it's the
definitely
writing
felt
that's
like,
hilarious more than the
Like
gameplay itself.
specifically, it felt like specifically going against the standard. Just we're gonna shoot stuff here, but it did feel like just the all around appearance. Like I really enjoyed. I played a lot of the Ratchet and Clank games, and it did seem very similar to that.
My major question is how one of the selling points before the game came out was the crazy weapons, and what I've been seeing a lot is everyone using basically the 4 or 5 weapons, the acid sprinkler, the Bunderblust that shoots fire or whatever, and the Teddy bazooka. Now,
Which is
is there
freaking
more
cool.
customization? So far what I've seen, it's fucking awesome. But is there more capabilities than just that? Is there more craziness that can be how far is the customization go? Is what my main question is, I guess. When it
Hard
comes
to
to
say because I'm not
weapons.
too crazy far into it. I just got my Xbox on Monday, and then I've been crazy busy with my dad on the farm. But we're done now, so I get to play more games.
Wait,
so I'll let
you
you know.
work on a farm?
But-
That's awesome.
He lives in
Yeah,
Iowa. dude.
What do you guys
I live-
grow? Hold on, we're going to talk
we
about
were
farms now.
getting-
I'm sorry.
We're getting on our last 50 acres of corn on Tuesday morning. I had to get up at 6. Then I
Oh,
went
you
to
actually-
vote, and then I went to work 9 hours.
So you weren't kidding when you said you had to harvest corn.
No,
Yeah,
wasn't
he was
kidding.
not. He was
Dude,
not
so
messing around.
Do you just harvest? Is it just corn, or do you guys harvest?
No,
anything
we
else?
do corn and soybeans, and we used to raise hogs.
Dude, you guys do soybeans?
Oh yeah, soybeans would give me asthma though.
Can you send me some soybeans?
Like
Why?
For what?
What do you need them for?
To
Free
For
soybeans.
food.
Yeah.
Well,
like what do you
They're
mean?
not-
What do you mean? What do you need them for? Like, hey, I need some soybeans. What for? I'm gonna make a bomb. I'm sorry. You can't say that out anymore.
Listen, I don't.
You shouldn't
eat
say that out loud
soybeans
anymore. I'm
For
sorry.
anything,
Yeah.
so it just seems mysterious to me.
Dude, soybeans
He's
are
gonna
awesome.
make.
yeah, you got to
No.
process them though.
Well, yeah, but that's
No,
doable.
imagine
But,
if he had gotten your address, and then all of a sudden you open a box that arrived at your door, and you have like 5 soybeans and an ear of corn.
dude, that'd be awesome. I would
Joe,
eat
sweet
for
corn is
like
the shit,
a
though.
day.
I love me some sweet corn.
But no,
Yeah,
I
sweet
grew up.
corn's great.
I grew up with a really close friend whose dad has a farm up here or not up here, but like out near Scranton, where it's like mountainy and shitty weather-wise. But he grows pumpkins,
Wow.
and
Ooh.
Nice.
every fall it's like his family is rich for like 4 months because like they just get all of their pumpkins out to everybody, and they
Nice.
even like keep a couple like that his mom makes into pies, and her pies are fucking amazing. Like fresh pumpkin pie with like actual like homegrown pumpkins. Like that's the shit.
I love making pumpkin pie. Like every season, I try to make one, and we like bake the pumpkin seeds. Like my dad had a recipe where he like salted them and did a bunch of things to them, and he had those in a bowl for a snack. And then we just made the rest into pie, or we even tried making pumpkin waffles out of the stuff.
That's awesome.
How did that?
I would
that-
love a pumpkin pie waffle. That'd
That
be fucking
pumpkin
amazing.
seed recipe sounds kind of shady though. He added salt and then he did a bunch of things.
No, I don't know if it was actually
little
salt
concerned.
added, but I'd have to ask him for the recipe because I never was there when he made it. I just saw him like take all the seeds and put it.
That makes me worried.
into a.
Some salt, some
Wait,
white
what's a
powder,
snack?
a little bit of green stuff that smells funny. No big deal. It tastes great and you feel great, and that's what matters.
That's how farmers. That's how we get. That's how we move our meth around. Is pumpkin
Yeah,
seeds.
exactly.
Nice. But no, dude. Like farms are cool, man. I almost
yeah.
wish like I was born on like I was born and raised on a farm because like doing all that work
Dude,
would make
but
you
what
feel
about-
great.
The internet.
That, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Because I live in the
Dude,
middle of nowhere. I got a 4-wheel course, paintball course. I go
Right.
snowmobiling every winter. It's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds great.
But what
Like,
about-
I'm
I
so
blow
used
shit
to
up
it.
whenever
a
I'm home with
huge
my brother.
party and no cops would show up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
The
like-
only thing you got to do is point a flashlight at the road when any cars come by, so that way they can't see what's going on in the yard. And then you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it's like, oh, are we gonna be too loud for the neighbors? What neighbors? But no, like I'm just used to like I grew up in a 1-bedroom apartment and then I moved to a 2-bedroom house and now I live in an apartment again. So it's like it just gets smaller and smaller every time.
And then you're moving to Austin, which
And
is
I'm
going to
moving-
be even tighter.
No, actually, we are moving into a very very large house.
Oh,
But
that's
the-
good to know.
The sad part is that we have like 4 neighbors as opposed to the one we had before. So, and like, it's not like we used to have a huge backyard where it was like basically untamed wilds. Like it was just a forest. Where we had like, our lawn and then at one point it was just trees and shit and it would go on forever until you hit a railroad track. And then if you walked for like another 5 miles, you might end up somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. I never got that far.
The townhouse I grew up in had a similar thing, except it was like a big like industrial park in the back where they like left industrial and construction waste. It was fun. You just run out
Oh
there
yeah,
as
dude,
kids.
playing in radioactive waste, that's a shit.
It's not radioactive.
The closest-
All right, calm down.
Did you ever find any Ninja
Just
Turtles?
constructive
No,
stuff.
we just shot like grasshoppers with airsoft guns. That was it. Rode a
Dude,
bike.
we used to
Well,
shoot
that's
like
why we don't have
used to,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Grasshoppers. I'm just saying.
No, we used
Way to
to
go.
shoot. We used to shoot like a little. You remember like the Green Army Men?
Yeah.
Like we would like build like elaborate scenes with them, and then like just either shoot them with with BB guns or like just throw like water balloons and like shit at it, just to wreck everything. Like that was what we
Wow.
did for entertainment.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Dude, that shit was fun. But no. Anyway, so my house in Austin is like there's none of that. It's a fence, and then immediately after the fence is the next house, in all 3 sides. So it's gonna be
so
like,
you moved to one of those neighborhoods. Yeah, man.
The cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
That would hurt
it
my
sucks
soul.
because there's some parts that still have houses with yards and a lot, like they're pretty old and run down neighborhoods that they're overpriced in that city. But like with me, I had talked about moving back to Austin at one point with my wife, and we had talked about buying some land outside of Austin because when we retire, she wants to move to the country. I said I have one condition: as long as I have internet access, I'm okay. I can deal with it.
Sometimes you don't even get internet
So-
access in the city. That's why I haven't been on in
I
2
know.
weeks.
Well, you do have a lot of competition in the city at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet infrastructure is getting a lot better in the rural areas of the country since fiber optics are getting a little cheaper to install.
yeah,
Yeah.
not to brag or anything, but it's looking like Google Fiber is gonna be my ISP in the.
I hate
Oh,
you
yeah.
so fucking much.
Are they moving into Cedar Park? Is that where they're heading?
Well, I'm actually in Round Rock, but they're.
Oh, you're in Round Rock. That's right.
Yeah. They're installing. I saw an article about this the other day. They're installing in Austin and south of Austin in like November, so they should be doing that now. And then they're planning on expanding north all the way up to Round Rock in 2015. So by March, I should be using.
It
Google
doesn't
Fiber.
hurt that Round Rock Dale is in Round Rock. It's like can we have our fiber optic? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So
So it's looking like by about March or April, I should be using
No.
some Google Fiber. Yay,
Nice.
gigabit connection. It'll be such a big difference from Comcast where it drops my connection every once in a while.
This is better than CenturyLink,
Yeah.
who forgets you exist and then just like. I went 3 months.
I
What
wanted to
happened?
hear more about what happened with your internet?
Okay, so like 2 to 3 weeks ago, my internet went down. I'm like, what the fuck? So I call customer service. I'm like, this is my account number, blah blah blah, and they look and say they said that account was closed in July. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And I look at my bank records, and they had not billed me since July. I had been getting service. They had not billed me. So I figured maybe that's the reason they shut off my internet, because the account doesn't exist, and they finally like, oh, this person has been getting internet for free for 3 months. So I started a new account, and it works now. Internet still wasn't working for like a week. I'm like, what the fuck? So I called customer service, spent like 4 days going to different people, getting different information, carrying it over to the next person, and all it took was like resetting my router from their end. And now I have internet. That was a big, fun waste of time. I love you,
Well, I mean, you got internet for 3 months for free.
That's true. I can't be too mad, but the 2 weeks.
How do you not?
You can't be too mad.
How do you not detect the billing? Like, I obviously don't know how the billing system would work from their end, but how do you, like, internet is literally being used?
I don't know.
Like, and I know you would use it more than the average user because you're playing games and stuff.
I don't know how they did not catch that. I had like automatically billing to my savings account, or like my pseudo savings account, just so I put money in there every paycheck, and I just leave it alone and it'll automatically bill me. I went back and I looked, and they had not billed me since July.
Dude, so free
So
money.
that's free money.
That's
Yeah.
true. I'm not that upset.
So,
but
well, here's
2
the
weeks
question.
without internet.
When you called them to get this resolved and you discovered what was going on, did they try to get the 3 months of back pay from
No.
you?
If they did, I would have been
Okay.
really pissed. Like, are you kidding
Well,
me?
isn't
That would have been very.
Are
Did
you
you
fucking
did you
serious?
mention it to them, or did you just like look at your bills and then
I
kind of
noticed it.
whistle?
Well, they
Yeah.
said
Did
your
they-
account is closed in July. We can't really do much to help you unless you want to open a new account. And at the time, I was like, no, I don't want to open a new account because I already have one. And I went back to my billing statement to like, did they? And then they did. They did not. They closed my account in July, kept giving me internet and not
What
billing.
was the reason for closing?
They said they couldn't install. They said there weren't any good circuits, that they weren't able to install internet. And I was like, well, you could have fooled
So
me.
they just gave up.
Like, I used to-
It's like, hey, we can't give this guy. It's like, hey, we can't give this guy internet. Ah, fuck it, we'll just go somewhere else.
yeah, that's basically what it was.
Hey,
They're like,
Steve, we got a problem here. What's going on, Bob? Yeah, Steve, you know that circuit that we said we couldn't get any service down? Yeah. Well, some dude's been getting service for like 3 fucking months.
I'm pretty sure. I think.
It sounds like something Comcast would do,
I think
man.
they
Dude,
installed
I love
it.
the-
think
I love
what
the fact
happened
that-
was the little note on the account. They said they said it was closed in July. They said they weren't able to find any active circuits. I guess the guy wasn't able to get into your apartment building's box or whatever. And I'm like, but I've had a connection, and they're like, that's weird.
I guess did it have? When was your internet installed and hooked up then?
It should have been July, or like either June or July. Like it must have been right
So
after
you were
I
getting free
started
internet.
Was it
getting
just that guy doing a really bad? Like 2 reports were completely switched up.
That's probably
Well,
what
it
it
still
was.
doesn't
is that
matter
he was just
because if
lazy
they're
and
not
was
supposed to be offering service, he's getting service. The MAC address on his modem is getting service sent down the line. I mean, they have to see that.
You would think they would see that.
It's
would think.
honestly, people are shitty, and if they took like 5 seconds to look at your account, they probably would have noticed that. And luckily, at some point, you got a decent enough customer service rep to be like, "Oh, I'm looking at your account. Oh, there's the problem," and then they gave you some bullshit answer as to why it was broken.
See,
It's
now, here's
like
the thing.
Comcast.
It sounds like it was just that dude's last day, and he was just like, you know what? Fuck it. He doesn't have anything.
No, it sounds like I'm probably
see, like, here's
the
the-
last person of the day.
see-
Like he had to go
Yeah,
install
no-
internet, and he's like, I can't get into the building. Fuck it, I can't get
Fuck
in.
it.
Whatever.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing too. It's like, what blows my mind is like, they didn't even tell you that this was an issue. So you merely had free internet for like 3 months.
That's
3
if I
months.
didn't have to
And then they
reset-
just suddenly,
If I didn't have to
like, why
reset
did
my
it-
router and call them, I probably would be having free internet to this day. And probably would still have free internet until I moved out.
so why did you reset your router?
Well, because I didn't know what the problem was. I thought it might have been the fact that they must have like caught up to the fact that they realized they made a mistake and just were like, I shut off the internet. So I made a new account.
Wait.
What?
Wait. You mean the modem that you had to reset, not the router? Because if you reset the router, if that's your router on your end.
No, it's a modem.
they-
Yeah, it's the modem
Okay,
functions
I was
as
gonna
a router as well. So I just call it a
Oh,
router
okay.
Okay.
because it also provides me Wi-Fi in my apartment. But yeah,
Okay.
because I didn't know what the problem was, so I just assumed like, okay, so my account was shut down in July. They must have just some clerk probably went through and was like, oh, that's weird. That wasn't the case. apparently, I had just had to like do like a hard reset on their point from their side, and like put in a new like login or something. But it works. I don't know what happened.
That's really
It
weird.
is
I
the
just
weirdest
love the fact.
situation.
I honestly just love the fact that you had no idea that any of this was an issue.
I had no idea.
And you were just merely were using internet for 3 months, not realizing that you were not getting.
La-di-da-di-da.
So no, wait. After so what you did is you were stealing your neighbor's Wi-Fi.
And then I was apparently stealing CenturyLink for 3 months after. Yeah.
Well, then you get your own. Like, okay, I'm not going to be getting free internet anymore.
Yeah, and then I got free internet.
You just seem
So,
to be a wizard.
that is-
Like,
that
technically,
awesome.
what happened? Like, was it an old circuit or connection that was just lingering?
I think my router just like did a dope and just was like, and needs to be.
It connected to something?
It's just like
maybe?
there's probably just some weird thing that happened with that. It just needed to be reset. But
Well, it's not necessarily like, I'm not talking about the internet outage, I'm talking about the free internet. Like, how did that even happen?
I
Did someone's
honestly
like,
have
oh,
no
you
idea. Like it.
I guess. I guess sending internet to someone would just be as simple as like flipping a switch on their end.
Yeah, it
at
uses
a certain
it
point.
uses a telephone line to do it, and I'm able to get actually pretty. It's not dial-up, but I'm able to actually get like broadband speed through there. So I'm assuming that as soon as I started the account, they turned it on and were like, "Oh yeah, we'll send someone out to connect it," in quotes. But I'm guessing the guy got there was like, I can't connect it. But some point in time, it was connected. I have no idea what happened along the line.
I
between
wish-
my
I
apartment
wish
and
I had,
CenturyLink
like, more-
headquarters.
A ghost was like,
Technical-
a ghost was just like, hey, that's not connected. I'm gonna do it for 3 months, and then I'm not gonna do
For
it.
3 months of them. No.
Freak him out. Freak him out.
Okay.
Yeah, to
So
freak 'em out.
here's old guy talk, but okay, you know how people used to steal cable because it was an analog signal that you could split and
Yeah.
Yeah.
share. Okay. Well, apparently, not now. The neighbors next door, one of my next door neighbors are idiots, but the family that lived in that house before, and it's a rental house, were complete white trash. They were actually like drug dealers.
Oh,
Um,
Did they have a car on the front
yeah.
lawn that was on cinder block?
No,
too?
he was a meth cooker. I'm not kidding you. He was a meth
Who's
cooker.
Walter
He
White?
drilled
Jesse,
a
we need to
hole.
cook.
Is this why you got interested in Breaking Bad?
Because you live next to
Yes,
him.
exactly why.
He wanted to learn more about his neighbors.
Oh my
The guy
god, it's a
drilled
real
a-
life story of my neighbor.
He drilled a hole in the garage door to like a peephole to see if anyone was coming while he was cooking meth. But anyway, because
Did you look
he was an
through the
older guy,
people?
yeah, I did. He was stupid, but he tried to steal my internet. Like he climbed it to the pole in the middle of the night, and he split the signal, and then he tried to plug a modem into his connection, and I guess it was the wrong modem. I don't know, but anyway. So I get home one day and there's no internet service, and I call Comcast, and of course Comcast is a bunch of butt fucking morons. You know, everything they do is idiotic, and you call overseas and Ahmed says his name is Steve every fucking time. You know, so I spend like forever on the phone with these guys, and I'm like, look, why is my connection keep popping in and out? Well, we show that your signal strength is fine. I'm like, we're sending a signal and it's not, it's showing it's connected. I'm like, look, guys, it's not connecting. Blah blah blah. Well, we're gonna send you up to the we're gonna escalate this to a higher department. I'm like, great. There's another fucking department above you guys.
They're just gonna transfer you laterally.
Yeah, exactly.
What's gonna fucking happen?
Here's the thing that always pissed me off is that we're going to transfer you to another department, fine. And then when I'm transferred over, what can I help you with? I'm like, really? The other person didn't fucking tell you, spend 5 minutes telling you what was going on? I have to tell you the whole fucking story over again?
Nope.
Great. But anyway, so I spent forever on the phone with them, and they were like, look, we're having an issue. We're showing that we're trying to send a signal and it's bouncing back. I'm like, well, the last guy told me it's connecting. No, it's actually bouncing back. Usually it's because of a bad modem. I'm like, the modem's right here. He's like, well, we can't even access it. Give us the MAC address, blah, blah, blah. And the reason why I knew what to do this time is because the year before I purchased my own modem. And that saves money with Comcast because you spend $7 a month leasing their modem, and it's always a piece of shit.
Yeah, I purchased
so if you spend 80
modem too.
Yeah, if you spend the $80 and purchase your own modem, they won't charge you a fee. It leads to another third story I'll tell you in a sec, but that's Comcast for you. Anyway, so I knew how to help you troubleshoot with these guys, and they're like, "Look, we're having an issue. It's bouncing back. Do you have any other modem devices plugged in?" I'm like, "No." Well, that could be the reason why, because it's not connecting to the MAC address. It's bouncing back. And then they kept digging. Yes, sir. It looks like there's 2 MAC addresses. What's this one? I'm like, I don't even have this. I don't know what you're talking about, what this MAC address is. And then I find out it's the guy next door. So someone told him, apparently, that he can, just like he could with the analog cable, would split my line from the pole, run it to his house.
Did it work?
Plug in a modem. No. It just
on his end, I mean.
No, it didn't, and it pissed me off. So they, I yelled at the guys, and they refunded me for like a month of service. But what they did was they basically called the city because the line was just hanging there. You could see where it was split from my side of my property.
What human garbage!
I just imagine
you
got
in trouble for that.
You got off the phone, you're like, hold on a minute. You walk outside and you look, and there's like an Ethernet cable running from the power line to your neighbor. Like, son of a bitch.
You joke about that, but see, in college, that was a thing that a lot of kids were doing in apartments in Austin and San Marcos. Who they would find out who has the high speed internet in their apartment, and they would tap hard. Because when I'm old, when wireless routers weren't around, or they were in their infancy at that time, so they weren't a common thing. But people would find ways to. They would find like the router that's plugged in that where no one else can see, and they would run lines through next door. I'm not kidding. People would do this.
Maybe that's what happened to WebWave.
You would see LAN cable like hanging outside of doors and outside of apartments from one apartment to the other.
See, like, here's the thing. I tried doing that because I know how to do that, and I used to do it when we were in Brazil. I used to watch my dad do it. I know it's terrible, but I used to watch my dad do it, and I tried doing it here in college because the router or the modem used to be in the next door from like the room next door from mine. And lo and behold, so I like connected the entire thing, and like I even got the people there. They're like, yeah, we'll share the internet, blah blah blah, whatever. I get there.
Though you asked first.
Yes. But like, here's the thing: like, I connected everything through the landline, and it didn't work. So I was like, shit, I fucked something up. So I just connected the router back up, whatever. Everything was working fine. And then I realized that the entire building did not run through wire. Like, it was all wireless. Like, they had all the wires. They had like Ethernet cable sockets on the walls for the modems, but apparently the modems weren't even in use. It was just all wireless. Nice. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you built this entire building. It was a brand new building. I was the first person to live in the room I was living. They had the Ethernet cables in the sockets, but we weren't allowed to use them. I was like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
funny.
Why? Like, the thing is, like, there were what? Like, I think there were 7 floors, and there were about, I want to say maybe like 50 rooms in each floor.
Yeah.
So there were 50 Ethernet sockets that could not be used per floor.
I'm going to make a confession. Okay, so what I did in college was in these apartment complexes.
Allegedly.
You find the girls that the girls that live that shared apartments. You weren't usually the very tech savvy girls. So what you do is, what I would do is, I'd be the tech guy that'd come help them. Well, I would. Oh god, this is so bad.
Allegedly.
Sounds like a setup to a bad porn.
I would split their internet connection. Like I would set them up with a router so they can split their internet connection in their apartment amongst themselves. You know, if it's a 2-bedroom, 2 girls living in a 2-bedroom. I would set it up and I would run a line to the next apartment over, and I would sell the connection to the people next door for a little fee.
It's so brilliant.
Allegedly. All this is alleged.
This is alleged, guys.
Hypothetical.
I could be making a big joke.
Dude, I should have been
Exactly.
selling my. If I knew about my free internet, I should have just been selling my like Wi-Fi password to my neighbors and be like, "Yeah, I mean, help me
Zach-
foot the
Zach-
bill."
Zach.
Wink, wink.
Zach, this was like 12, 14 years ago, so if there's
See, here's the thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
See,
Never
here's
mind.
the thing.
Such
If I
limitations.
had that mentality, and which I totally wish I had, I would have just sold people the same thing, except the shit that didn't work.
Oh wow.
It's like, hey, look,
And
here's a line, and it totally works. Wink. $50, please.
Maybe that's how I got free
But
internet
seriously,
for
like-
3 months. It was like some like
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, like Ethernet Robin Hood who just like connected me and was like, "Enjoy your torrents." And just like a
I'm
salute.
telling you,
like, jumped off the roof.
It's a ghost.
No, you were being watched by the government. It was like some sort of a Metal Gear
Some sort of
AI was trying to
experiment.
track all your stuff.
They're like, this guy keeps downloading tentacle porn. What the hell is this about? We're getting nothing good out of him. Allegedly. Allegedly.
No, but,
That's the
No,
word
but,
for
like-
the day.
could you imagine, like, if some just random tech unsavvy person, like, put a hole in the wall and there's like, he just found a whole bunch of Ethernet cords and he's like, I want free internet, and that's what happened. Like, he
Yeah, like
cross some
somehow
wires
something
here and
happened
there.
that gave me
On a
free
dark and
internet.
stormy night, just one day, just
exactly.
The planets aligned and my connection worked.
No, wait, now that has happened before where someone has tapped into someone else's cable line with and plugged into a modem. I can tell you this because this happened to a friend of mine in Austin with Time Warner Cable. His apartment, for some reason, his internet just stopped one day and they couldn't figure out what was going on. His neighbor tapped into his cable line, plugged in his modem, and for some reason that new modem, Time Warner activated it and registered it. So for like a day or two, this guy was using his connection and his own modem and got internet connection out of it. And they ended up finding out, finding out what was going on. But basically, as soon as the guy plugged in the new modem, I'm sure he probably went to the website or whatever, and it registered or whatever. But all of a sudden, it was registered. The MAC address for that account switched over to the new modem. And so my friend was like, I don't have internet. What's going on? He's calling me. I'm here in Houston. What's going on? I don't know what to do. I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Call Time Warner, And he's like trying to figure it out. They
Go
they
through
send
that.
Oh, the
they send a
donut.
technician. The technician's walking around. He's like, well, it looks like somebody tapped into your cable line. And they go check that apartment, knock on the door, and the guy's got his own modems, probably downloading porn,
ISPs are just
It's
like the
just-
dumbest companies.
The sad thing about my Time Warner experience is, like, for the first over like half the podcast, I was running under Time Warner. I had so much internet problems and drop-ins and drop-outs, and then here and especially with my the internet type that we're using with Comcast, we rarely have dropouts, if at all. Which is like, it seems like special compared to all the other Comcast stories that we hear as like horror stories. So far, we haven't had to deal with any customer service. I hope that doesn't happen.
Well, here's the thing. In all honesty, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. It's a company that has to maintain millions of customers a year.
That's true.
So there's bound to be issues and errors and bugs, and then on top of human error, it's like there's a percentage of getting shit right and getting shit wrong that's acceptable. So I guess that's where businesses are these days. It's just like, how far can we fuck this up before they get really mad, or how long can we maintain the shit fest that's happening
And
before
they're
everything
a
crumbles?
monopoly, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's why we need
Trevor-
stronger regional competition.
Exactly.
There is like
No,
a
Did you
really
guys
strong.
ever see? Did you guys ever see that South Park episode where they have to talk to cable companies?
Yes, with the nipple
Yes.
patches and everything.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, let me get my manager. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do that until tomorrow.
Oh.
It's like,
But I want to watch the game tomorrow.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, after I reported the thing and I started a new account, I'm like, okay, I started a new account. When I can get internet? They're like, yeah, it'll be like next Wednesday, and it was a Thursday, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. And then that Wednesday, it still didn't connect. And then it was the Thursday and Friday afterwards that I had to fix the router. So, yeah. But I do have to say, that week I went and saw Ruby, the season finale, at the Draft House here in Littleton, and that was fucking awesome.
I want a draft house. I haven't
I didn't
checked
get to
the map.
Kansas
but
City sold out
gosh
like
dang.
the day before I could buy my tickets.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was really
It
good.
sold out in like an hour, and it was like I just got my job. I just got my first paycheck, and I was like, sweet. Now I can afford to go to this thing that I want to go to, and I couldn't go anymore. And I run the
That's
Midwest
fucking
group. I was like,
shitty.
I
Did
run
they,
Midwesterners, and I couldn't go to fucking Kansas City to watch the movie. It's like, fuck.
But it was
I really
awesome.
wanted to go.
I have to say, it was
Did they do
awesome.
anything special for it? Like,
There was a
I'm-
live Q&A afterwards.
yeah, I was gonna say they kind of the quote-alongs give you a lot of like play props and such. So I don't know if they did anything.
It didn't do that,
Like-
but this is the first time I've ever been to a draft house, so I'm not sure if they do this all the time, but the previews before the movie,
Oh yeah,
they just played
Yeah, they're
Japanese
great.
commercials, and it was hilarious.
It's the previews are always
That's
relevant to
cool.
what you're watching. Like Iron Man 3, they showed nothing but really bad Robert Downey Jr. like scenes from all of his old movies. Trying to think, what was one of the other ones? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. They showed like clips from raccoon documentaries. And I mean, they
That's
just
awesome.
they do random shit. Let's see, Man of Steel. They showed some really old Superman stuff, like the old TV shows and commercials. That's what the Draft House does. They used to take part in an event that I loved every year. It was called Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Animation Festival, and they would show. You guys have seen Happy Tree Friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where they got their start. They would do these festivals at the draft houses every year, and they would show these animation clips, and some of them were funny, some of them were just off the wall, and Happy Tree Friends was one of them. But if you ever get bored, look up Here Comes Dr. Tran. It was a trailer that was done,
oh
and
my
it's
God.
so fucking funny. You have to watch it. Here Comes Dr. Tran. And they did one called the Peep Show, where they would have these little peeps, and they would motion capture them doing crazy shit and like blowing up and stuff. But they would do stuff like that. They had the Lord of the Rings festivals. I remember they do when the big movies come out, like when the Avengers came out, you pay for a ticket. I think it was like $100 something, and you get 2 meals, and then you watch all of Phase 1. They start off Iron Man 1, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and then the Avengers. And they would just show it, and they would take breaks in between the
Nice.
movies. But Lord of the Rings, it's like with the extended cuts, like 12 hours, all 3 of them
I think
combined.
so, yeah.
You would pay like $90 for a ticket, and you get like 2 meals, and they would take like 30-minute breaks between each movie. But you would just stay there the whole day and watch these movies. They do crazy stuff like that. They do the sing-alongs, the quote-alongs.
I'm
Hold on,
going back.
It was a
on,
$90 ticket though.
What's that?
It was a $90 ticket for the whole day.
Well, yeah, Lord of the Rings was $90,
but it also included meals, right?
And you got 2 meals with it. Okay.
it includes 2 meals and
Well,
I
what's
think, like,
included?
unlimited drinks.
What's included with the meal? What is that? What like how
You'll get
much?
like a burger and a pizza, and that's it. Like just very
That's like
simple.
$50
You don't get
on
like
its own, though, at the draft house.
yeah, seriously, like the food can be
Yeah,
pricey.
I ordered
there.
a Coke
I mean,
at Ruby, and it was $5.
yeah.
Oh, that's movie theaters everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Unless you're in the
pretty
middle of
much
nowhere in
bring
Iowa.
it.
I can go to a movie for $4.
Dude, although-
It is
What?
really cool using the ticket system to me. I don't know why. It's just kind of funny that they have to like kind of creep through the audience back and forth over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Do you
Well, I
accept
mean, like
Bitcoin?
to be completely honest, I think the food at least at the Alamo Draft House down in 6th Street in Austin, it's like super cheap. I thought specifically for like what they were serving too. Like I made it a point to get the pizza that caused the whole Gavin Ray pizza incident when they were there. And I was surprised to see how cheap it was, especially for like how big the pizza was. It was like a full personal pan pizza thing.
Yeah.
And not to mention like their milkshakes are fucking awesome, like, especially the
Oh,
adult
yeah.
milkshakes.
The milkshake is really good because the root beer float they used St. Arnold's root beer, and it's really damn good.
when I go back
Yeah,
Monday,
it's worth $8.
when I go back Monday to watch Helsing Ultimate 9 and 10 English dub, in theaters, I am going to order a milkshake.
Dude,
Get a milkshake.
are you 21?
Yeah. I don't
Get the
drink.
grasshopper.
I don't really drink, though.
Dude, the grasshopper, though. That was like the one milk. I got that when we were shooting the gauntlet. Like, I was like, I'm gonna get this grasshopper milkshake. I'm gonna try it. I had like 4 of them. They were so good.
Oh god.
You know,
Christ.
one thing that did make me mad though is going to the one in Austin, the draft houses in Austin. They were one of the few places that used to serve Dr. Pepper. And when I drink soda, I don't like to drink anything but Dr. Pepper. And they used to bring out giant pitchers with crushed ice, and it was great because you'd order a pitcher of Dr. Pepper, they'd bring it out, and you'd have it the whole movie. Of course, they fell victim to like most theaters. They started serving only Coke, so that made me mad. And they changed their menu up a little bit over the last few years. Like they used to have nachos, and they did away with just basic like nachos and chili cheese fries. They don't have that kind of
Doesn't
stuff.
Coke own
I'm
Dr.
like, that's-
Pepper?
Yeah.
No. RC Cola owns.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny too. Because I like RC Cola the best out of every other cola.
But Hardee's serves Dr. Pepper and Coke.
Really? You think that?
Well, you can get 2 distributors.
maybe it's underrated.
You go to most 90% of the movie theaters
It's either
serve
Coke or
Coke.
Pepsi. Yeah.
Coke,
Cool.
and the other like 5% serve either Dr. Pepper or Pepsi.
So that's what
And
RC Cola
actually,
is doing. They're owning Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, they're making their ends meet and all of their money.
Well, how the fuck do
through
you get Dr. Pepper and
Dude.
Coca-Cola at Hardee's? Or
Dude,
Carl's
you know
They
what,
just have
though?
2
You know what, though?
distributors. I mean, there's nothing that says they have to be
No, fast
unique.
food.
But it's
is
the
very
only
good.
one of RC Cola that they have then.
Yeah.
That's weird to only get one type of pop from a company to put in your,
Well, I
your
mean,
things.
Here's the thing.
Well, that's
It's-
just the movie theaters.
Have you ever tried like any of the cheap knockoffs of Dr. Pepper? They're hysterically bad.
Mr. Pibb.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, no, no,
Jesus.
not
Dr.
even-
Thunder.
I remember
Not-
American
like,
Fair.
Dr.
The one-
Viz or whatever at Walmart or something
No,
like that.
the one that stuck to me that just tasted like pure like I love Dr. Pepper. My dad says it tastes like cough syrup, but then we tried this one and it legit tasted like shitty cough syrup. It was terrible. Called Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob?
Oh my god.
Bob.
I swear, I found it one day and I just thought it was like the name was just so funny because it
You had
was
to
such
try,
like
you had to try it?
yeah, and like I couldn't finish it. Like I took 2 sips and I almost regurgitated.
Maybe it's
it. I was like,
actually
oh,
cough
okay.
syrup. Maybe you just accidentally just got a giant 2-liter bottle of cough syrup. You're like, oh, this looks like soda.
Exactly. Some
No,
asshole
it was
didn't
Dr. Bob.
restock the shelves right or something.
No, it's a soda. I even looked it up. I was like, all right,
It's I don't know what it is. I think it's just a movie theater thing that Coke does because you know those fountain machines, the touch screens that they have out now, and you know the one that was in the Jeff.
Mhm.
There was one at a
RTAA
Burger King.
about going to W. But
Right.
most of those machines, I find it funny. They're owned by Coca-Cola, but they do have Dr. Pepper in them. So I'm like, okay, most fast food places they have Coke cups, but they have Dr. Pepper. But in the movie theaters, they only have Coke. And there's only one movie theater in Texas, like a company, and I think that's the Movie Studio Grill. They're kind of like the Alamo Draft House, but not as cool. They serve Dr. Pepper, but
So the
yeah,
hipster Alamo Draft House is what you're saying?
it's not hipster. It's for people that the Alamo Draft House.
It's
is the hipster
specifically
place.
built like nothing to do with the theater. It was built so
It's
that
built
people
for
can actually
agnostics
have
via South Park.
have the other type.
Is it a
of soda.
cola? Or is it a soda? We don't know.
Interesting. Is it cool? Is it so?
dude. I would kill to go to a restaurant where they only served RC Cola
Why?
products.
That'd be interesting.
dude. RC Cola is godlike. Like to me, it's my favorite cola.
Are
like,
you
hands
saying
down.
RC Cola could create
So
the
you're
universe?
that one person that
Yeah,
buys
you're
RC
the one.
Cola still.
dude? Listen, RC Cola
Is
is great.
Squirt?
Are you
Hey,
also a
is
person
Squirt-
who would buy a PlayStation Vita?
I've actually been looking into it. So shut the fuck up.
I actually sold one yesterday because I like the streaming feature.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. The thing is, like, as a standalone thing, Vita, not too impressive. Not too good. I'm gonna say that straight out. And it's funny too, cause, when we were hanging out backstage during the gauntlet, I hate to, like, keep bringing this up, but, like, it's such a vivid memory of Greg Miller, like, hooking up his PlayStation 3 so that he could play his Vita. It was the most interesting thing I've ever seen in my life. But it's like, it has, like, the compatibility thing that it has with the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 is absolutely amazing. And that's, like, one of the only reasons I would get it, is because I already have the 3 and the 4.
Or you could just get a
If
Wii U.
Xbox had something
get
like
a
that, I'd buy it on
gamepad.
heartbeat.
Yeah, although I've been looking more into getting the PlayStation TV. Have you guys heard about this thing?
A little bit.
It's essentially like a Vita / like a streaming device for games inside your own house. So if like you have your PlayStation 4 or 3 hooked up to a certain TV, you can just take this little thumb drive looking thing over to the next room, plug it into that TV, and then you have it on 2 TVs. Like, so you can basically stream the same system on 2 separate TVs for 2 separate rooms.
Oh.
So like,
you
you
can-
so
yeah,
like kind
for
of
your
split
PlayStation.
screen.
yeah.
in
Well, not
the-
even split screen, because like, you know, like back in the days when Sony tried to do the 3D television thing,
Mhm.
they had this super cool feature that was like the only reason why I would ever consider getting a 3D television, and it was the shared screen thing, where if you wore the glasses, depending on which glasses you were wearing, you could see one screen, and then if you were wearing the other one, you could only see the other screen. So like, and this was a feature for something like MotorStorm, a racing game, where one person wearing one set of glasses would be seeing one screen, and then the other person wearing
That's
the other
really
set of glasses
cool.
would be seeing the
So you
other
don't have to
screen.
give up the screen space
Yeah,
to
so you
split
would-
it or anything.
Yeah, so you just have split screen without split screen. It's like
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like full screen, split screen. If that makes
That's
any
a
sense.
feature of the Wii U that's really been odd. Like it's underrated, honestly. Like the gamepad. Me and my brother have been playing Hyrule Warriors co-op, and I'll be playing on the main screen, and he'll be using his gamepad, and it's awesome. Like
Because you get
we'll
the
see-
HD game, you get the HD TV, and you're just gonna hand him the little gamepad.
The game. Well, he wanted the gamepad, and the gamepad's HD, and sometimes the picture's
certainly.
even more crisp and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see, like, he'll be way far off to the west, and I'll be like in the middle fighting a boss or something, and just completely 2 different perspectives. So like, why spend like $100 or $300 on a? How much is a Vita anyway? Like 98. How much is it? $90?
I think it's like $99. I know the PlayStation TV is like $50, I think,
crazy.
which is super cheap.
I-
But here's the thing too: it's like I really want to get a Wii U, not like
Yeah.
for that, because I don't
For
usually
Smash.
play with anybody. But no, it's like the games that are out on that thing look absolutely
Bayonetta 2.
amazing. Like, and it's something I haven't said about Nintendo for a long, long time. With the exception of maybe a few games here and there. But it's like, I've been looking at like certain games on the Vita, and I am so freaking jealous of the people that get to play that. Like, for example, Monster Hunter 3 looks amazing. The Mario Kart 8 looks ridiculous.
Oh, Mario Kart's amazing.
I really want to get my hands on that. And most, like, and, you know, Smash is coming out. They have that game Splatoon. Have you guys seen that? Where it's like,
it's the painting. Where you
yeah,
have to
it's
paint
like,
the
it's like
map
an,
and stuff like
it's
that.
like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a paintball type of thing where you can like move faster on the areas that you paint with your team's color. Like, it's super interesting and super intricate. And then they have, you know, Super Smash Brothers, and Bayonetta 2 just came out. I really want to get my hand on that shit. Like, I've seen people play it, and it's like, oh my god. This looks like it's one of those games that, like, you know, I used to be a huge fan of God of War, and like every time I picked up God of War, it's like, oh, this is actually fun. This is why I play video games. And that is exactly what Bayonetta
I'm still
looks like
waiting
to me.
for one day when Bayonetta comes to PC. One day. One
It's
day.
not.
It's not
Especially
gonna
now.
happen.
No, it's
Metal
not.
Gear Rising
You're gonna
came
be
to
90.
PC, like a year after it came out on console. One day it'll happen.
But see, here's the thing, though. Like, I saw, what was it? I forget. I was watching a Twitch streamer play it. And it was so jarring to see the title screen, because it was like, Nintendo, Sega. It's like, wow. Like,
What?
Like, 5-year-old me would have just, like, my head would have exploded.
Yeah, there was that point where we
Is
didn't think
Sega-
that would ever happen,
Is
right?
Sega
Yeah.
publishing Bayonetta 2?
Sega completely.
Yeah, Sega made
really?
Bayonetta 2.
Well, I
It's
thought
from
it was
Sega.
from Platinum Games.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
from.
They're all software now.
Yeah,
They dropped hardware
know.
because there's
Yeah,
no
well,
way.
I thought it was
Yeah.
There's
Bayonetta
no
And then
way.
Nintendo bought Sega. That's so ridiculous to me.
How does Platinum
Really?
Games
I,
fit into
I
that?
can't get
They're
over
the
it.
ones that made Metal Gear Rising and Bayonetta.
What if one of the major like Microsoft bought Sony, and then Microsoft then bought Nintendo, and they just became one
They'd
big
probably get
game
hit with a
thing?
lawsuit.
I don't think
That'd
that'll
be
actually
terrible.
happen.
I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
violates
Well, then
the-
they'd be broken up,
Well, I
and then
know
20 years
that
later,
that would
they'd all
just,
come back in. 'cause
in
the government's
reality
all
that would
retarded.
just fall with so much disaster, but that'd be really funny.
But it's good to
initially.
hear about Sega.
Yeah, I mean, that's not gonna. But that's not gonna happen though, because here's the thing: you have two, like, essentially, like, opposing sides when it comes to. I hate using the term, but the console wars, like, quote unquote.
Mhm.
It's like you have essentially like, people that stick to Sony because of brand loyalty or whatever, and people that stick to Microsoft because of brand loyalty. So if the both of them teamed up, like, people would just like be confused as shit. They would probably just, go to Nintendo or some shit. It's like, fuck them, they're sellouts, blah, 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 blah.
We're
I
now
honestly
seeing
think
the
that's
new
what's gonna
system, the PS box.
Also, PlayStation.
Yeah, the PlayStation Box
Station.
420.
PlayStation did a lot.
Yeah,
of
speaking
Box
of something like
Station
that,
420.
Bandai Namco just came out with a new game too on the new systems. What was that Lords of the
Oh,
Fallen?
really?
They've been
Yeah.
around for a long
yeah,
time
yeah,
before
that
they
was about-
merged.
Yeah, Namco was Namco were the people that made Soul Calibur, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
made
think so.
Soul.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, their first game was Soul Edge, I think, for the PlayStation 1. That game was amazing.
Oh goodness.
That game was awesome. That was my childhood right there, that game.
Yeah, I had
think
to
I
explain
played
who
3
they
games
were
on the
to a guy at
PlayStation
Best Buy
1.
the other day.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I only the only thing I remember about Namco was just their intro screens. Because it was like, anytime you're playing a Soul Calibur game, you turn it on, it's like, Namco! And then you play the game.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that vividly when I was playing it's probably not as much, widely spread, but all the Xenosaga games, it was really fun.
And they've made a lot of older games. Their first original game for Namco was 1978.
Dang.
Wow.
And then Bandai's was...
they are the Pac-Man
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, you would think that they would do some branding, like put the Pac-Man logo, the icon somewhere in their logo.
It's
just for
probably
legacy.
owned by
Well,
Nintendo.
here's the
though,
thing.
they're the publisher.
Oh, and Bandai's, that's how I know them, is Digimon.
Here's the thing, too. At the startup screen of Soul Calibur 3, they had the Galaga introduction. Right? And then, there's the Galaga ship shooting Namco. It's like, oh, right. They made that.
Crazy.
And now they're owned by Bandai.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
there's some type of.
who
trademark
else,
on the
like,
image of it.
Hasbro has been getting into games recently, too.
With?
Really?
Not recently, but, like, they've been publishing games.
Well,
Like,
When?
What sort of games?
I
Who?
saw...
To the
Hold on.
Wikipedia we go.
No, I saw something, and it was so jarring. Because it was like a super dark game, and then it was like, oh, Hasbro.
I think, was
like,
it
Oh, you're a toy company.
War for Cybertron?
Yeah. I thought Bandai was a toy.
Fall for Cybertron?
Well, Bandai was too, I think.
Yeah, they made toys. They made all the
Yeah.
the Digimon toys. That's how I knew.
Yeah. Well, they made a whole bunch of other toys too. Like, I'm trying to remember, but
Didn't-
fuck that. That's like 10 or so years ago when I
Didn't
bought
Bandai
action
make,
figures. I thought they made Marvel stuff, but fuck, maybe
Gundam.
because I bought a lot of Spider-Man because that
Didn't
was
buy-
like my jam. Gundam, shit,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
did.
Gundam,
right.
yeah.
Gundam, okay.
And Dragon Ball
Yeah,
Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they made like all the Gundam toys. and
Dragon
stuff.
Ball Z. Yeah, Gundam. Yeah, I had a few Gundam toys.
But I'm
so
really happy to
that-
see that Sega is
Okay.
making good stuff, because they're the ones that, after THQ fell, they're the ones that bought the right to the Warhammer franchise for video games, so fingers crossed. I mean, they made Alien Isolation, which has been pretty good, or published it.
Yeah, Alien Isolation's actually pretty good. Yeah, very
It's like
cinematic.
it's funny to see Sega on the rise again, like especially when it comes to software, because that's what they've been focusing on. But even
It's the only
with
thing
like,
they do now.
well, yeah, even with like Sonic Generations that got like really good feedback. What else? What else did they do after that? They did what was that one? Vanquish, I think.
Yeah, Vanquish was
Never
pretty
played
good.
it.
Yeah,
It's
I remember
think it's
playing
a
it.
first-person shooter with like environmental thingamadoos.
Really, I thought it was a third-person thing. But either way,
Well,
like
it might have
that
been
doesn't
third.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just remember it being super badass, and like I played a little bit of it and it was awesome. And now they're coming out with like 2 hits back to back with Alien Isolation and Bayonetta 2.
Dawn of War 3. Warhammer Dawn of War 3 is just around the
I
corner.
was really
know
shocked
I mean,
when
they
I
didn't
saw
announce it.
Sega on the Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Well, like Sega was like a monster back in the day. Like, essentially Sega was like what Microsoft is now back.
Yeah.
And Nintendo was what PlayStation, or like, whatever, like you get my point. Like the rivalry back then was Sega and Microsoft. Or
Sega and
Jesus,
Nintendo.
Sega and Nintendo, yes.
Sega and
Like,
Microsoft.
Well, before the Genesis, there was that Sega console that had like Afterburner, altered. God, I can't think of the.
Oh yeah, it was that really
Hydro
weird. It was that
Thunder.
really weird.
Squared.
Oh my god, yeah, because they were trying to do ported games from arcades to the home console. Because that's when like home consoles started getting big. So Sega was like, "Oh shit, we got to get in on this. Look at Nintendo, right?"
It was the Master System. That's what it was.
Yes. Yeah, it was like, oh my god, that shit was weird.
They had Alex Kidd and Afterburner and
Yeah.
Altered Beast, and then right after that is when the Genesis came out. And
Altered
man, I
Beast.
remember buying the Genesis with the CD drive. That was a big mistake. Oh, God, it was bad.
Well, actually, I don't think I ever played the Sega CD stuff. Although
Yeah,
I've really wanted to play. The only game I actually know of the Sega CD that I actually want to play is the Knuckles Chaotix game.
Yes.
I heard that game's a lot of fun.
Chaotix.
I do want to play. Maybe I'll have to get a
We've
hold
been
of
on
it
a
somehow.
we've been kind of on a nostalgia trip for a while, and I'm glad we're talking about video games because I really want to talk about Advanced Warfare briefly.
Okay.
Okay, so
So there's this game
Shut
called
the fuck up.
there's a game called Advanced Warfare. Okay, yeah, that was brief.
Yep. All right.
No,
It's actually
okay.
really good. From
Yeah, it's actually
little
really
I played
good.
it. It's fucking fun.
They're a really small developer. I think they're called like Activision or
Independent developer.
Well, it's actually
Yeah,
a
something
new
like that.
developer,
Sledgehammer,
Sledgehammer.
that's right.
Games.
Sledgehammers, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And they're-
that game has
they
been
did some
switching
cool
hands.
stuff.
That game has been switching hands consistently ever since they started getting
well, now
big,
there's
right?
3 different developers.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Well, actually, they've been declining a lot in sales. Like the
Infinity-
last 2
yeah.
have gone way
Yeah,
down.
but there's now 3 developers.
Well,
Is it
working
because
on
like-
they're
Call of Duty
just
games.
trying to make a Call of Duty just to make a Call of Duty? Is that why?
Yeah, because you had your Black Ops and you had your Warfare games going like every 6 months. A Call of Duty game was coming out. It's like enough's enough. They just saturated their own market. You know, that's basically what they did.
Yeah, which
This
is
is what
which
worries
is
me about Assassin's Creed.
yeah.
Pretty
But-
I
much.
love
there's
that
like
series.
18 Assassin's Creed games.
What
I
Warfare
still
does
haven't
right.
finished the Assassin's Creed games that I have right now.
I bought 3 just because I accidentally got it for free at New York Comic Con. So I guess I didn't buy it. I just kind of got it.
You
But,
accidentally
no, it was
bought
just
got
so-
it? What?
Yeah, no, it was just so weird because I was talking to a dude at the booth and we were talking about it, and it just happened to be the day after I became an American citizen, and I guess one of the devs was there, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you got to talk to this guy." I was like, "Yeah, all right." Then we talked a little bit, and after that day was over, and that was my first console. It was just one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna hit up a bar and then I'm gonna go to where I need to go, and I ran into the same guy there. The same developer, and he's like, "Oh, you're the dude that just turned into a citizen." He bought me a drink and shit. It was awesome. And then he's like, and he was kind of drunk. He was like, being a citizen's hard. Here you go. And then he just gave me a ticket for a pre-order of Assassin's Creed 3 and
That's
and
pretty cool.
the Comic
Isn't
Con
Assassin's Creed 3 the one
shirt.
that takes place during the American Revolution? Hey, there you go. You
Yeah.
get your American history.
Well,
That's why that came up. That's why that came up. So it was like, oh,
That's cool.
yeah. So he gave me the shirt, the exclusive shirt and the game, and I was just like, all right.
Shadowhound's giving
Cool.
me information in the Skype chat. Assassin's Creed, apparently, according to him, has 21 games. While Call of Duty has
Jesus
11.
Christ. Yeah, because
that's
there were a lot of
including mobile and the other the one that they poured. What was that? Liberation or whatever.
there were a few Wii only games that were very small, not very
Yeah, there's 3
well
mobile
put
games
together.
And then,
But Call of Duty, what Advanced Warfare did right is I was expecting the parkouring and that mechanic in particular to be very clunky. It's actually really smooth once you get the hang of it control wise. It's okay, you just double tap this and click that and you're good to
I
go.
love games where you can do the main story, or you could just climb on building, just go explore, and then go back to the main quest when you feel like it, or you could just keep doing side quests.
Well, wasn't that one of the main complaints of the first Assassin's Creed was when people when you just held down the one button and held forward and you did everything automatically?
Yeah, but there's a point where
they hold down
if
the
you're
right
like,
trigger.
Yeah,
Just
well-
go.
Or there was a parkour or I don't know, I forget what it was actually called, but it was a parkour button where you just hold that down
Yeah, you
and
just
then
run up
whatever
the wall.
Right. Wasn't that a huge complaint? And now
Well, that
it's
whole game was
thing?
At first, I'm
complaint.
sure
if
it
you had to do a
was.
quick time event every time you climb up a building, that would be even worse than having to hold Y to go up everything.
Quick,
Yeah.
tap, 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 tap.
And then it was a really clunky system too. If you didn't hold the left trigger or the left stick exactly in the right direction, he wouldn't go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Assassin's 1
Because
was
I played through
Creed
the
1
first
was just a
Assassin's Creed. It was
prototype.
actually
it's not like Mass Effect. You play it to Mass Effect 2, which
Yeah.
feels like a prototype. And then it's the same way between Assassin's Creed 1 and 2.
Well, see, like, here's the thing. I played the first Assassin's Creed, like, top to bottom. At the time I played it, I thought it was awesome. Because it was like, it was a fresh new thing. It was a new take on this whole ordeal. And even, like, just the ability of, like, walking around and doing that shit. Like, because that basically is what started, like, the whole stealth game, like, shenanigans. Again, because, like, before it was Thief. Like, back in the olden days.
Metal Gear.
You fucking know Thief? That was like my first game,
Yeah, I was gonna
dude.
say, like, Metal
Splinter
Gear.
Cell.
Metal Gear's
Solid.
been
Oh, Metal Gear
around.
2, you're
Splinter
right.
Cell,
You're right.
I
Metal
mean-
Gear.
Well, I mean, Thief is probably older than fucking Metal Gear.
Is
Not
it
the
the original Metal Gear?
I think, yeah,
I don't-
top-down NES one.
Yeah, like, when was the original Thief released?
Looking that
let's
up.
look.
I'm
I know
looking
it.
that up.
I know it's a really. I think see, here's the thing. The Nintendo one wasn't like. It wasn't like it was sure it was like a stealth game, but it didn't set off like the whole like
The
let's
first
make all
person
these.
or
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
let's
really.
make
It
all
wasn't.
these stealth
It wasn't its own stealth game until
Yeah,
Solid.
But I mean,
Yes.
there's also like Splinter Cell, which I remember playing on the GameCube.
yeah.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean though. It's like after Assassin's Creed after Assassin's Creed 1 was a thing, like people started going towards that area because they knew they found something. Like everybody knew like that was a fresh take that people hadn't thought of. And now we're looking at like, hundreds and hundreds of games that have been relying on that system. Like what was it? I played Shadow of Mordor the other day and it's like, it's like Assassin's Creed and
Batman's combat.
had a baby.
Batman's combat. Yep.
Which is still very good. I enjoyed that game, and I
Oh, no.
played the shit. I think I got like 96% of the achievements, or 50 something. Somewhere
Dude,
between
I am
50
so-
and 90% of the achievements.
I am
That's a pretty
so
big range,
salty.
actually.
Somewhere around there,
Somewhere around there.
I'm
I
gonna
am
say only
so-
40% in there.
Yeah.
1% or 100%, somewhere around there.
Whoa. That's too much of a
It's only a
gap.
99%
Okay, gotta-
error of margin, right?
I am just so ridiculously salty at the Shadow of Mordor because I bought it for PC. And I didn't bother to look at the requirements, so I need to upgrade my
That
graphics
happened
card.
with me with Fallout 3. I remember getting it and I'm like, why can't I play this? And I was like, oh.
If you should have just
Now I
bought it
can't
for the
play it.
console.
I know,
Yeah,
I
therein
really
lies
regret
why
it. And it was
consoles
like,
have
and it was like a
niche.
really bad impulse decision too. It was just like, I was watching somebody play it and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome, I bought it. I was like, shit. It's like, you ever do something and then immediately regret it? It's like,
Yes.
that's
I did that for
exactly
one
what
of the
happened.
It was like the Steam deal, and I was all excited to play it, and then I started it, but I can only play it in slow motion. It choppy screens, and I'm so sad because it was one that actually seemed
was it?
fun,
That was-
but no, it was
Okay.
the newest Tomb Raider
Oh.
game. It seemed fun
Well,
to me.
think about it. You still have
Uh,
that Steam account forever. Like, you'll die with that Steam account. So
Yeah.
you'll eventually be able to play it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
You'll take it with you.
A
when you go
big
into
thing
the
with Steam
apocalypse.
now is people actually sell their accounts.
Mhm.
Because it has all those games tied into it. And I was looking at mine. I have I think it's like $3,000
I have
worth
like
of shit in
98
there.
games in my Steam account. I wonder how much I can sell it for.
Yeah, I forget what the
Yeah.
website is. Well, let me see
I
how
have
much I
one
got here.
Civ 5.
I think I have 12.
I have 138 games plus 2 bits of software.
Oh, yeah.
How much of those
Two
games
things
have
to
you
stop.
used and played?
Not a lot. I got a shit. See, here's the thing. Ever since Humble Bundles came out, there's a lot of bundles that you see that's like, oh, I like that one game, and it's already cheaper than buying just that one game,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna get it. So it's like, what is it like? I bought a bundle that included Thief Gold, for example,
Oh, that was
and
good.
it also came with Super Brothers, Swords and Sorcery, EP. It's like, okay, whatever. I also bought another Humble Bundle that came with Wolfenstein 3D, and it was like, oh, here's Warhammer 40k
That's a
Dawn
great
of War
game. That is
Game
a
of the Year
great game.
edition.
It's old, but it's great.
I have not.
It has like, oh my god.
I've never
how dare
installed
you? It's so good.
know, or-
1998 is when the first Thief game came out.
Wow, that's actually a
And
lot.
When was
Wow,
Solid?
that's actually a-
Wait, do you
Metal
know
Gear.
Solid's release date?
Metal Gear Solid.
Solid. It was somewhere after '96 because I
it
know
must
that's
have
when
been.
the PlayStation
Yeah,
1
it's on
got
the
released.
PlayStation 1,
Yeah.
so it must have been.
Metal Age Thief 2 was 2000, Thief Deadly Shadows 2004, and then
Wow,
Thief
so
the game
That's
recently.
That's
to
similar-ish
2014.
to Metal Gear's like 1, 2, and 3. for Solid's release dates.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
Wow,
not.
that's really interesting. I didn't know
but-
Thief was that young. I thought
Yeah.
Thief was like an 80s game.
I thought it was 89. At
Yeah,
least.
I did too.
Or at minimum, I guess.
Metal Gear
I
Solid.
mean, it does look
hit
really good. For what it
98
is,
as
though.
well. So,
Okay, so they came out
98.
around the same time. But
yeah.
but still,
It's
To
really
diverge
interesting.
it slightly.
they came
Have
out at
we
the same
talked
time.
a bit about
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 5? What is it called? It's not Ground Zero.
Well,
Ground
there's
Zero-
part 1 and
Phantom
part
Pain.
2.
Phantom Pain.
Phantom Pain?
Have we talked about it?
I'm looking
Have
forward
we
to
mentioned
that.
the fact that his dog has an eye patch too, and how stupid yet awesome that is?
That is so awesome.
And
Yeah.
you can kill the dog. And
See,
you'll make
here's
it.
the thing. I played as a kid. I played through the entirety of 2 Sons of Liberty or Sons of Patriots, Sons of Liberty, Sons of Patriots, something like that. Sons of some term that involves
Wait.
It's
like
Sons of
nationality.
Liberty.
The Sons of Liberty, yeah.
Sons of Liberty. Okay, good.
With the box. Love that cardboard box.
Yeah, so like I played the shit out of that as a kid, but I have not played any other Metal Gear Solid game.
You know,
I have.
Subsistence
couple
was my
months-
favorite. Snake
A
Eater.
couple
Their
months back, I
Subsistence remake.
bought a bundle for the 360 that included
All 3 games, basically.
Sons of Liberty, and I can tell you, I had it for the PlayStation 2 when it first came out. The graphics blew us away, of course, but playing it now, the gameplay was so fucking bad. Like just moving around, it was so tedious. It
That's
was
the
so- the overhead camera.
Yeah, the
angles
funny
are
thing,
off.
at least to me, it was one of the. I don't want to say worst because I love the Metal Gear
Metal Gear Solid
franchise
2
so
was
much,
pretty
but Metal Gear 2 was not as good to me as
No.
some of the other ones. Like
3
3
was
blew
awesome.
me away.
Metal Gear
Well,
Solid 2 was pretty bad.
Well, here's the thing.
It's
It's like I found a copy of 1, like an original, like PlayStation 1 with the 2 cardboard or with the 2 discs,
2
and then you had
cardboard
the
boxes with it.
No, shut up. Even the thing where it's like, it's funny because like I purposely like avoided every single bit of information of Metal Gear Solid 1 because I knew one day I was gonna play it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played it, and I got to the part where you had to contact Meryl, and like I had no idea. I was like, you gotta look at the back of the CD case. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh.
Ego Raptor do an animation about that. But
That's exactly, yeah. That's like one of his first experiences with Metal Gear is what Ego Raptor did, and that's kind of how I fell in love with the Metal Gear series. Jesus
Oh, yeah.
Christ!
It
was
was-
through
it was-
Ego Raptor, and then I did my own.
Yeah, no, and it's funny too because like the way they broke that fourth wall with Metal Gear was so awesome, but then they never did it
They
again.
did in,
And like I could totally
I know
understand.
in Metal Gear Solid 1
Go
where
ahead.
he goes, Snake. He goes, yeah, and he goes, you need to switch out the discs or whatever. And that was like the breaking the wall. And then in Metal Gear Solid
they do play
4,
around with that in 4
where they
a
go
couple
back to
times,
the
too.
location. It was like Moses Island.
Wait,
Oh,
are you
wait.
talking about Mantis?
Well, they
in the
broke a
first
wall.
game?
The
No,
fourth
yeah.
wall
Well,
a
see,
couple
here's the
times.
thing. No, what I mean.
Where you
Yeah,
had to switch controllers. to
Yeah,
kill him?
here's what I mean. What I mean entirely is like the first Metal Gear Solid. They broke the fourth wall a shit ton. It came with
Yeah.
the look in the back of the CD case thing. With Psycho Mantis, where you had to switch out to PlayStation or to the second player port.
Controller. Yeah.
And even then, like where you first meet the ninja, where he's like, "Oh, I don't know if you're gonna hit me, so you better unplug that fucking controller, because sitting there is not gonna help." Yeah, you had to unplug the controller so you could like move on with the story, or else the ninja was like so apprehensive about moving on. It was super cool because it's like oh, now the controller's out and I'm completely helpless. It was like it's such a cool feeling, and even on like. There's spoiler alert. There's the part where you get captured and you go through the torture where you have to tap the button as fast as you possibly can, and you have to figure out a way of escaping. And if you don't, you just go back to the torture chamber and it keeps going. Where they're like, hold the controller to your arm, and then it started vibrating to make you feel better. It was like, oh my god, that's genius. But it never happened in 2 or 3 that I know of. It never happened in 2 that I know
4,
of.
they do like make a reference to that because you go back to the same location, and then the point in the first game where you have to switch out discs, Otacon comes back and he goes, "You need to switch out the disc." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh wait, never mind. We're in the future," or something like that. Isn't modern technology awesome?
That's funny.
And they did a callback to the Psycho Mantis's reading with Screaming Mantis, I think it is, where Psycho Mantis shows up And then he's like, I'm gonna do my psychic powers again, and then wait, there's no memory card!
That's funny.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, you had to
Living,
take out the memory card. That's right.
What was that Metal Gear? Was it 3 that if you waited to kill, on the end to fight, if you just didn't go engage, he could actually die?
Yeah, the end will die after a week's real time.
I love that.
Jesus.
Also,
That
in
was
3,
fantastic.
if you shot one of the main characters, if you shot Ocelot, it'd be like, dude, you messed up the story. Do it again.
Oh yeah, if you shoot a main character that's not supposed to actually be killed yet, then you'll create a time paradox, and then Colonel from the first game, his only role in the actual game of Metal Gear 3, since he's not a character, is just to tell you that you've created a time
There was
paradox.
also a trailer, I want to say, where, because a lot of people complain about Metal Gear Solid 2 that you're not playing as Snake, you're playing as Raiden, and Raiden kind of sucks, at least in number 2. But there was a trailer for...
Hey, Raiden was fun to play.
He gets a lot cooler when he becomes a Cyber Ninja. But anyway, in Metal Gear Solid 3, there was a trailer where, the beginning part has the main character Snake in, a combat suit, like a Halo jump gear. High altitude jump. And he, lands, and he takes off his mask, and it's like Snake. But there's, a retake of that where he, lands, and he pulls off his helmet, and he's riding, and you just hear the audience go, oh, and it's
Psych. That's cool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cool things coming our way when it comes to video games and mechanics.
It's really funny because I was in the beta for the online stuff that they were doing for Metal Gear Solid 4 for the online gameplay, which was awesome. It was you could play dead. You could never do that in a game before, especially on an online setting. You could literally just play dead and people would walk over you, then you would kill them. It was great. But I had this huge urge to buy Metal Gear Solid 4 and I just never did. So now I still have this gap where I have not finished Metal Gear Solid 1. Played the shit out of 2, never touched 3, never touched 4, and played Ground Zeroes recently. So it's
What? You jumped straight to Ground Zeroes after not, you gotta start with Ground Zeroes and, Phantom Pain, 3, and, if you can manage it, Peace Walker and such.
Need to do 3
that's that entire, there's two separate storylines.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, too. It's Ground Zeroes was so confusing. Because, it was oh, look, it's Big Boss. I was who the fuck is Big Boss? And I was just alright, I'll just have to play it through the other games. But it was just I was given the opportunity to play it, and I wasn't going to say no. So I was
I just
alright.
thought of another way that kind of broke the fourth wall. In Metal Gear Solid 4, there was, sections with, the Beauty and the Beast soldiers, when they were out of their suits, and they were, walking around as hot chicks. If you had a device that's called, a radio or something. I like how I just said that. You have a device that's called, a radio? But you have a radio, and if you turn it on during this section, they'll start dancing. They do a
so
silly
cool.
animation.
They'll start dancing. If you take out your camera, they'll pose for it.
That's really funny. See,
I
and it's I love shit like that too. It's where they break the fourth wall, but they did it well. It's sometimes it just gets to a point where it's terrible. I think one
a
game
terrible
that did it
one. What's an example of a terrible fourth wall breaking?
Well, look at Bubsy.
Oh,
anybody ever played Bubsy
that,
the cat?
Who did a video on that? It wasn't JonTron, was it?
I think JonTron did a video on it, but have you ever have you actually played it? It's terrible because it's it was right after Duke Nukem was made, where Duke Nukem, the original Duke Nukem 3D, where he consistently broke the fourth wall, where it was just him talking to you but still referring to himself, where he was he was building up that cocky attitude where it's damn, I look good or whatever. But with Bubsy, it was just hey, you're over there on the other side of the TV screen. Ha ha.
You're playing a game.
All right.
Lols.
Yeah, they did it way too much.
Basically.
Metal Gear's fourth wall breaking was very sparse, but it was really brilliant when it did happen.
See, here's the thing too, and it made sense within the context of the game, right? Except for the thing with Meryl. Except for the finding the goddamn code.
I think
of
they
Meryl.
tell you if you call a bunch of times after, just like they would tell you the secret to finding Psycho Mantis if you died a bunch of times, or if you bugged.
They give you
enough.
a Mosi thing.
I think
yeah. They're try switching. Yeah, they do specifically tell you that. And yeah, I think it's if you die once and then you call the Colonel and you're hey, what the fuck?
Call the Colonel, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
but see what I mean? That's like, I feel like that's an ingenious way of of breaking the fourth wall while still like progressing with the story inside the game, where it's like he can read your mind. Oh, let me just think a different way. Both in the game and outside of the game, where you have to go about a different way
Metal
of
Gear
beating
is
it.
great
And
about
same
that.
thing, like I said,
Metal Gear Solid 3, there's a section where, depending on how many soldiers you kill, you'll have more enemies during this one section that you have to fight the ghosts. And so if you kill no one, like you do a no-kill playthrough, it'll be like, haha, man, my evil soldiers, or something like that, and it's like no one.
Yeah, if you don't kill anyone, then the only ones that are there are the bosses that have to die as part of the story because they suicide bomb themselves.
wow, that's interesting. See, I need to
Also,
play
PT
more.
had a one where it broke the fourth wall, where like the final clue was in the menu.
Yeah.
The studios and the stuff
God,
like there were a whole bunch of.
Yeah, don't even remind me of PT.
I'm looking forward to playing that
Hideo
game.
is definitely a main part of it. I can't wait to see all the other breaking walls when the Silent Hills actually comes out.
My
Dude,
question
and
is
the
it
thing-
going to be a Sony exclusive, or is it going to come to PC
No,
and Xbox?
I don't think it's a Sony exclusive. Actually, it might be a Sony exclusive because I think who publishes
That
Silent
is a
Hill?
good question.
Oh goodness.
I played the first
Silent
one
Hill
on stream.
Shattered Memories is like on the Wii, for example.
Yeah, but
Silent Hill's Konami.
Konami. That's
Yeah,
right.
there we go.
But I
Konami has a kind
see,
of a
I don't know.
history
I don't
of
know.
Sony exclusives, except for Revengeance.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like Konami usually works with Sony on that kind of stuff, so it's like, I don't know if they're gonna stay there. But again, it's like Hideo Kojima has like a sense of keeping the player interest at an all-time high whenever you're playing one of his games, which I think is why on top of the great gameplay that Metal Gear Solid has, I say that kind of sarcastically. People are so ridiculously interested in it. And the fact that him and Guillermo del Toro are working on Silent Hill, the new one, and the fact that Norman Reedus is the main character. It's it's just a recipe for absolute batshit insanery in the levels of which humankind has not seen since Phantasmagoria, for those of you that actually played that game.
It's freaking you out to the point where your own house was going to scare you when you walked down it.
Dude, the thing that bothers me most about that game is the fact that it looks so ridiculously realistic.
It's so good. It's so like it's a movie, but it's like an interactive movie. It's crazy.
And Hideo Kojima,
they have this small hallway to work with, so they can work on making that small little hallway really good looking.
Yeah, and Hideo Kojima says, "Oh, we tried to keep the graphics shitty to give it a video gamey look."
Like what?
It's like, what the fuck?
Maybe
What
he's
are
just
you
trolling.
on
Maybe
about?
he's like, yeah, we want to make it look as shitty as possible.
What if they made it like they put all cylinders into it and they tried to make it as HD as possible? Then what would it have been?
I think they will be. I think that will happen,
I'd
especially
wanna play that on
because
a curved 4K.
But see, here's the thing. Silent Hill has the potential of being really good visually because of all the they don't have to worry about loading the entire game up because of the fog, and that's why Silent Hill 1 was such a big game, or it was such a huge map on the PlayStation, because you didn't have to draw the entire map because of that fog. So it's basically it's loading
it's
as
like
it goes.
HD graphics, but to troll, they have a mode where that you can only see a foot in front of you.
Oh god, that'd be terrible.
It's that might be what it is, especially
during some parts certainly.
Yeah, what was it I played Silent Hill for the thing the other day. I do. Yes.
The emergency stream you did for start with an S.
I don't remember. I just remember I played Silent Hill. But yeah, it was every single scene, you could only see about 4 feet in front of you. And it was the fog and the darkness. And while that's kind of a shitty thing at first, it's genius because you don't have to worry about draw distance, so you can really focus on what you have there. And it adds such uncertainty to the game because you don't know what's in front of your face. And it adds a really creepy element to it.
That's what fear is all about.
So yes.
So
Exactly.
I was doing some research on whether or not the newest Silent Hill will be released multi-platform, and it's either saying it'll be exclusive to Sony for a few months, because there's like a whole lot of speculation, or it'll just come out as a multi-platform release.
Yeah, Jordan said. He first said Silent Hill is coming to all platforms, and he said, "I correct myself. It's a PS4 exclusive."
There's either one. There's one or the
So
other.
which is it,
It's either going to
Jordan?
come out on all of them. or
It's
the
gonna
other.
be all or nothing.
All or
Yeah.
nothing.
All I know is
I
I'm
would
you know-
probably
probably
buy
gonna.
a PlayStation 4 for that game.
All I know is I'm probably
I
gonna
can,
stay far the fuck away from that game.
Well, honestly, I never thought Kingdom Hearts would come to the Xbox, but
Did
that's
it?
what's going to happen with the third. The third
Yeah.
will be
Dude,
coming to the
Revengeance
Xbox
came out
One.
on PC.
Yeah,
Konami never releases on PC.
Wasn't it a terrible port though?
It has higher graphical settings and like other stuff they mixed into it that's PC optimized. The only thing that was really upsetting was like some of the hotkeys were weird. If I remember right.
Oh yeah, what do you want? What do you want? That's like a big thing with MMOs. Oh, excuse me. I just like hiccup burped. But that's a thing with MMOs. It's like, some of the like whenever you have an MMO it's either built for a PC or a console. You can't have both. And it's so weird, like even going like what was it? I played for a little while I played DCU online because it was free on the PlayStation. And on console it felt great. And then I tried playing it on PC, and it was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, keyboard and mouse, it was
Some
like,
games
I felt like...
need a certain type of remote in hand. It just feels
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, like, I just felt like, I felt like I had lost, like, motor skills of all my fingers while playing
I
it
had
on
like
PC.
cerebral palsy.
Like, I just didn't know.
DC universe.
Like, I felt like I lost all of my fingers. It was just like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah.
Yeah, ports
Shit.
can be a tricky thing.
Games.
I know, like, Dark Souls
Dude, yeah,
is
and
supposed to
that's-
be pretty bad.
That's why... Dude, I played on stream the entirety of Dark Souls 1 on the PC port. It was
Yeah.
fucking terrible. There were parts where it was like watching a fucking PowerPoint presentation. It was so bad.
Oh goodness.
That sucks.
Revenge
was
is
so
pretty
bad.
good. I think the mouse...
Was it just when trying to do other stuff in streaming, or is it just...
No,
Dark Souls
it was
in general?
when running the port. It was the port. They just wanted to load too
yeah,
much
optimization for...
at the same time. Yeah, it was just terrible. But then you have 2, which is amazing on PC. It runs better on PC than
Really?
any other console. In my opinion.
I did not know that.
Like, and it's such a huge difference. It's night and day. It's so weird.
I want Dark Souls 2 to come to the next-gen consoles. That'd be fucking awesome.
Dude, Bloodborne! Bloodborne, though! It's gonna be a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's essentially, it's a From Software game, which is the people that made Dark Souls
Yeah.
and Demon Souls. But yeah, it's... Dude, like, Demon Souls was such a great game, and it was a PlayStation 3 exclusive. And now they're going Bloodborne, PlayStation 4 exclusive. I cannot wait to
Damn
get my
you.
hands on that game.
Metal Gear 5, both parts are coming to the PC as well. That'll be
Yes.
interesting.
Thank you, Konami.
Dude, but
You
Bloodborne,
finally
though...
noticed me, Senpai.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, see, well, it's because Konami was contractually bound
That's true.
to Sony, so it's like now they
Yeah.
can do whatever they want. It's just sort of like a Bungie scenario where Bungie was just only Microsoft, but now that they're both
And not
or
PC.
all, they can.
Well, it's
yeah.
like here's the thing too. It's like back in the day when Konami actually made that deal with Sony, it was like there wasn't really anywhere else that you would want to
The
put
Nintendo
game
64, dude.
at that
to
time.
go, yeah. Damn
I mean,
graphics.
I don't know. Sega does what
Oh,
Nintendo
speaking
don't.
of,
Actually, no. That was wasn't that the
Oh,
Jaguar?
Speaking of
Fucking
what
Jaguar.
Bayonetta 2 on Nintendo, there was actually, I saw a clip, there's a Star Fox 64 Easter egg in Bayonetta 2 where you can become like one of the ships and actually like fly a brief mission.
Yeah, no, it's funny because Bayonetta 2 comes with Bayonetta 1.
Really?
On the Wii, yeah. So, and on Bayonetta 1, you can have, like, you have different costumes and you can play as Link, Star Fox, Samus, and somebody else who I don't recall. Peach. So yeah, you have gear that essentially dresses you up like Nintendo characters, which is, like,
Really,
it's cute.
really more.
I'm not
like
gonna
you
lie.
wanna
Like,
get a Wii.
that's the word I have for it. Dude, I really want a Wii U after watching people play Bayonetta 2.
Dude,
Damn.
Once I started playing, I'm like, okay, Mario Kart 8 pretty decent graphics. And I'm like, but there's not a whole lot of stuff on the screen, blah, blah, blah. Play some Hyrule Warriors. I'm like, holy shit, there's like hundreds of these little guys running around and they look awesome, and then I look awesome, and the environment looks fucking awesome. The Wii U, honestly, is a underrated podcast, and the worst enemy to the Wii U was its
it is indeed an underrated podcast.
Underrated console. The chat
just goes to show that it's the games, not the hardware that make the console.
Does the 3DS interface with the Wii U in any way? Like, I know, like in the olden days, you could plug a Game Boy cartridge into N64.
You could. I don't know.
The last one that I know of is the GameCube Game Boy Advance adapter, which lets you play it through that way.
I mean, I know that you can play certain 3DS games, like multiplayer with the Wii U. Like, I know Smash Brothers, you'll be able to play.
Up, yeah.
Oh, really?
And I know Monster Hunter, you can play on a 3DS while somebody else is playing on a Wii U.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers on 3DS. But...
Well, yeah.
If anyone gets it for a Wii U, battle. I assume using Wi-Fi or something.
We could have a battle royale.
I still need to get. I need to get my hands on either a 3DS or a Wii U. Probably a Wii U.
I got my 3DS at a pawn store, and it's been working pretty well. It's a decent little device. Like, I probably won't sit at home playing it, but when I'm like on the train, I'm like, I'll boot up the 3DS and play it for like an hour.
I've just sunk 24 hours into Fire Emblem Awakening. I got that like 3 or 4 days ago because I got tired of Destiny finally, which is kind of sad to say.
Took this long?
See, this is the bad part. It's like, I have Destiny, I just got to Jupiter.
What? Jupiter? What are you on about?
I just got to Jupiter. Isn't that...
No.
No?
No Jupiter.
Yeah, see,
Mars,
you are not good
Venus,
enough to
there's no
unlock
ground in
Jupiter,
Jupiter.
Zach. Your skill level isn't at Jupiter yet.
You would get crushed by the pressure.
Okay,
of
so
the
hold
gas.
on. So here's how the story progresses. It's like you start on Earth, and then you go to the moon, and then what's after that?
Venus.
Venus, that's the one.
Okay.
Sorry, something about peanut butter sandwiches to remember planets. I don't remember.
No worries.
Oh, sorry,
Honestly,
it's not peanut butter sandwiches because Pluto's no longer a planet.
No, fuck that. Pluto is a goddamn planet.
It's
It
not a
has
planet.
moons.
Anyway.
No, it has moons.
There's asteroids
motherfucker.
that have satellites that orbit them.
There's
Natural
asteroids that
planets.
have planets.
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit.
There's asteroids that have
There's
small
universes
little
that have.
moon-like objects that-
Hey, there's
I will
universes that have universes.
I will defend Pluto to my dying day.
Nah, Pluto never
It
should
is
have
a
been a
goddamn
planet.
planet.
They're overzealous. Like, we need a ninth. Pluto, whatever.
But yeah.
Anyway, on his brain fart, maybe we should wrap up.
Oh, we've been recording
Yeah.
Good
for
point to
an
wrap
hour and a
up.
half.
An hour and a half.
We've been.
What time is
Zach,
it?
it looks like you and Tej and Lee and myself are gonna have to do a TFT talks about what we talked about earlier, the whole Phase 3 of Marvel. So
Yeah, Phase 3 of Marvel.
A TFT talks for Marvel is
Halo.
planned,
I mean,
Science
even
is
though I'm a PC
planned,
gamer,
Halo
I
is
know
We're
a
planned.
gonna
lot
do
about
Halo, yeah.
Like, I read all the books.
You-
All of them.
Oh, really? So I'd love to have you on because you would have a crazy perspective because I've never read any of the books and the only perspective I've had is the video games
I know everything about Halo.
and the
okay,
Easter eggs and stuff.
so let's go ahead and put the brakes to
One
this
more
podcast.
thing, I would just like to plug my own shit. And
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
should
be
probably
streaming.
plug our own shenanigans.
I'm gonna be streaming Friday, Civilization Beyond Earth. Come by. Or don't.
Well, but I'll be
And-
streaming, so don't
Watch my stream.
come to mine instead.
Mine is
Or mine.
Stream
Come to the
Bye.
Wartburg stream.
Or maybe we can all listen to the LBF podcast because someone
What the hell's LBF?
might be. Let's
That'd
be
be mine.
friends. Yeah.
What the hell's LBF?
Let's
It's
be
a
friends,
podcast.
motherfucker.
Yeah. let's
What
be
about
friends.
what is
I was
it?
invited.
LBF, I'll give you a quick rundown and
It's
then,
like the
then we'll wrap
TFT
up. Okay?
banana's good.
LBF is the number 2 thread on this site in a year of being on Rooster Teeth. We have like 200,000 posts. It's fucking insane. And
What's it
then
stand for?
A group, let's be friends.
Oh.
A group of us, like a good 6, 7 of us, were like, hey, let's make some YouTube videos. So we went over to YouTube, and now we're kind of divorced from the thread. But Wub still posts there, and I'm on there every once in a while. And we make YouTube videos and a podcast and Let's Plays and stuff. And Zach's
Yeah.
going to be on the podcast tomorrow when we record number 19.
Yep.
So yeah, watch my
Nice.
stream. Don't watch anyone else's stream. Ever.
Yeah, no, don't watch Webwave
No,
stream.
watch
Watch my stream. I'll be streaming with my brand
I'll be
new
streaming
capture
with a
card,
brand new
sponsored by.
Yeah, he's
Webwave
using
TV.
what I use, and it's fantastic.
7
And
p.m.
then we also let's plug some
7
TFT
p.m.
stuff.
Eastern Standard Time.
Um,
Civilization Beyond Earth.
shut the fuck up, Wave. Shut the fuck up. I'm doing the Tejan Lee shit. Okay,
Dude, I'm
So we
gonna
got
be at 3
SoundCloud.
p.m. Eastern
Oh, so
time.
you can
So
watch
Wait,
Oh.
it looks like Tejan Lee when you shit. That's like
it's a
Alright,
very
so follow
interesting power.
the forum thread at the twitter.com/theforumthread at theforumthreadpodcast.com. And then follow us on Facebook at The Forum Thread, and then on YouTube at The Forum Thread, and then on
There you
Forum
go.
Thread at
Forum Thread plays.
theforumthread.com.
And then we also
Which,
have a gaming
just
channel.
released-
And maybe
just
that's
Right,
my
the
thread
Forum
itself.
Thread
We're
gaming.com
all
at
talking
the
over
Forum
each
Thread.
other. I'm trying to plug something. We just released the second part of the LBF TFT Plays Borderlands pre-sequel with like Kamalto and Wandy, and off the top of my head, I don't remember his name, and I feel bad.
Yeah, we collaborate and shit.
Yeah, it's great. I'm like a big
All
family
right,
now.
well, with that, let's go ahead and bid you all adieu and talk to you next week.
I love you.
I bid a hello.
Wait.
No, not you.
Nah.
Good night.
Good night.
It's going off the trains, the
Metal
rails, the
Gear.
tracks.
Oh my God.
Something. God help us.
So anyway, about Metal Gear Solid. No, I'm kidding.